Hi, welcome to The Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this is a preventative yoga sequence. So it's preventative in the sense that all of these yoga postures and practices that we're going to work on are all of the most common practices that I give people when I work with them in yoga therapy or physical therapy to help them heal injuries all over their body or dysfunction, pain, wherever it is. These are the ones that I use. So they're the most often given yoga poses, and I had this thought that what if people did these before they got injured, before they got hurt, before they had aches and pains? Maybe they would never have to see me, and my job as a physical therapist and a yoga therapist would be obsolete, which would actually be a wonderful thing. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I'm not that worried about it, but I do think that if we did these yoga poses every day, that our bodies would feel great and that we would be less likely to injure ourselves and to hurt ourselves and to have a healthy body throughout our entire lives. So, preventative yoga. Here we go. So we're going to start out on our backs. So you can come onto your back. If you were sitting propped up on anything, set it aside. We might come back to it. But you can come onto your back with your knees bent and let your arms just rest out at your sides. And you can either have your knees apart or you can let them drop in together. I like dropping them in together because then I can really relax a little bit deeper through my hips and lower back. From here, go ahead, close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just starting to bring your awareness for where your breath is living in your body, right here, right now. Noticing how your body moves as you inhale, how it moves as you exhale. Also noticing how your back feels against the ground, maybe using your exhales to soften and let go of tension in order to rest your back into the ground a little deeper. As if your back could spread and widen into the floor. And go ahead, take your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly. And as you continue to bring your awareness to your breath, maybe start to notice that gentle rise and fall of the belly. And we can really get our breath low in the body, breathing deep and low into the belly. That practice of diaphragmatic breathing, of slow, low, deep breathing, is one that can have a really dramatic impact on our whole body, on our mental state, our emotional state. It tends to calm us emotionally. It tends to quiet the mind. And it has a whole host of benefits on cardiovascular health, metabolic health, longevity, decreased stress. There's one yoga practice to do. This is it. Diaphragmatic breathing. Low, slow breathing. And keeping that low, slow breathing going, now we're going to just let our arms relax out at our sides. And you're going to separate your knees. Keep the feet nice and wide apart, so wider apart than your hips. And as you exhale, just gently let your knees drop down to one side. Inhale as they come back up, and exhale to the other side. Little windshield wiper twists for the hips. Exhaling as you drop down. Inhaling to come back up. Moving nice and slow, like slow motion windshield wipers. If it feels good, maybe you want to turn your head, maybe in the same direction as the knees, maybe the opposite direction. If you're really getting a nice true rotation of the neck, it can be a little tricky on a yoga mat because there's sticky mats, we tend to stick to it, but you should be able to hear the sound of your head kind of shifting from side to side. You might have to just slightly lift the head to get that full rotation feeling so that we don't want to just fold the neck. If you don't hear the head moving, then you're just kind of folding the neck side to side, and that's not as good for the neck. So slide your head along the mat with the motion. And then coming back up. From there, now you're going to step your feet in so they're a little closer to your hips. And we're going to take some pelvic tilts. So you're going to inhale, let your pelvis round forward, and you're going to feel your lower back arch away from the floor. And then exhale to reverse that and rock back. You'll feel your lower back gently push down into the earth. So you're going to inhale, rock forward. Exhale, rock back. Moving nice and slow with the breath. Inhale to come forward. And exhale, rocking back. And as we're doing this, we're getting some really deep core strength working into our belly, helping to control the position of our back. Moving with the breath. Inhale to rock forward, nice and slow. Exhale as you rock back. These movements can be very small. If there's pain anywhere along the range, just make the movement smaller until you can find a pain-free range. And then go ahead, relax, and just gently hug your knees to your chest and rock side to side. And then from there, gently roll all the way to one side, and we'll come on up for hands and knees. From hands and knees, you're going to spread your fingers nice and wide. Feel the whole palm of the hand grounding into the earth, so not just the wrists, really engage the whole hand. And then as you exhale, rounding through the back for cat, let your head drop, push the floor away. And then inhale, gentle arch of the back for cow. Just looking comfortably forward, maybe just a few inches ahead of your fingertips. Exhale, round, push the floor away for cat. Inhale, gently arch. Draw the shoulder blades away from your ears, create space for your neck. Exhale, rounding, pushing, opening through the back of the heart. Inhale to a comfortable arch. And just like with the pelvic tilts, you're just moving in a comfortable range. So if the extremes don't feel good, it's always okay to make the movement smaller. This is just like the pelvic tilts, except we're doing it with the whole back. Getting more motion in through the spine, getting that core control, that ability to control what our back is doing. And then coming back to neutral. And then from here, you want to step up towards the top of your mat. And then with your right leg, go ahead, slide the leg back. Gently push through the heel until you can feel the stretch coming into your big toe. Shoulders away from the ears, create length through the body. Feel free to stay right here, or if you want, see what it feels like to shift some weight off of that right leg. Without letting anything else move, just gently float the right leg up to the sky. And you know that you're probably close to keeping that pelvis neutral if you suddenly have less weight on your left hand. If the left hand is light, that's good. Maybe you even want to reach through the left arm. Again, find that deep core strength in the belly to help support the back. Breathing here. And then exhale, gently drop down. We'll take the other side. Left toes tuck and slide the leg back. And again, we're stretching back until you can feel a stretch moving into your big toe. Breathing here. Relax the face, the jaw, the throat. Very subtly shifting the weight off of that left foot until nothing else moves but the foot floats. Again, you can do the little test, see if you have less weight on the right hand. If you do, it's a good thing. Maybe you want to reach. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Keep the breath moving. Low and slow. And then exhale. Bring it back down. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and reach back through the right leg again. This time, nothing else is going to move except the left leg might want to reach back to meet the right. If you're like, yep, nope, this is good, then just let this be your plank. Keep one leg down. Otherwise, take the other leg back. But the whole body stays in that nice inclined plane. Feel your thighs engage, feel your belly engage. Gently push the floor away. And then on an exhale, let both knees come to the earth and slowly lower the heart between your hands. From here, moving into Cobra, you can gently point your toes. Hands come right under your shoulders. And as you lift towards Cobra, first thing you're going to do is reach through your toes. as if your toes could reach to the wall behind you. Then you're going to lift the heads of your arm bones, so kind of the top of your humerices. You're going to lift them away from the floor. From there, you're going to pull your shoulders away from your ears as you bring your heart forward. Your hands will pull back for a nice low cobra. Breathing here, reach through the toes, reach through the crown of the head, a little tuck of your chin. And then exhale, make a pillow with your hands and let your head rest down. Let your hips sway side to side, releasing any tension from your back. And then we'll take another round, taking the hands under your shoulders, reach through the toes, shoulders move away from the ears, away from the earth as you inhale and lift. It's like the anti-slouching pose, cobra. Feeling your shoulder blades as if they could make like a little V shape behind your back. So the bottom tips of the shoulder blades gently draw towards each other while you're opening across the chest, across the heart. Hi, Lotus. And then exhale, releasing down and sway the hips. Send your breath all the way down into your lower back. And we'll take one more round. Hands come under the shoulders, reach and lengthen, and inhale as you move into the pose. This is a low cobra. We're not lifting very high. Very little effort is put into pushing with the hands, more effort into pulling. Soften the throat, the forehead, the jaw. And exhale, gently release. This time from here, you're going to press through your knees, elbows draw towards each other, and inhale, lift from your hips. And then exhale, walk it all the way back into child's pose. In child's pose, your knees are comfortably apart, the hips are going to sit back towards your heels, and resting on down. If your head can't quite reach the floor, you can always fold your hands and rest your head on your hands, or you can make one or two fists with the hands, resting like that. If your lower back feels a little tender or sore, you can really kind of direct your breath into those tight areas. After back bends, the back can sometimes feel a little tight. And then from here, we're going to take a little side reach in child's pose. So with your hands, you're going to walk them over to the right. You can maybe even take the right hand and place it on top of the left to help anchor that left arm as your hips draw back into the left for this really delicious opening in the rib cage and in the left side body. And then to take the other side, walk the hands over to the left. Maybe the left hand rests on the right and the hips pulled back into the right. Breathing and opening into those intercostal spaces, the spaces between your ribs. And then coming back to center. Let your hips be nice and heavy, let your body soften. And then from child's pose, we're going to go ahead and make our way up into a forward fold at the top of the mat. So you just gently walk your feet up, let them be hip distance apart, some bend in your knees, and just let your body hang. Maybe you can sway side to side if that feels good, loosening up the back. And then with a deep, deep bend in your knees, push through the feet, gently roll up the spine, keep the knees bent until the last possible moment. Maybe add in another inhale to reach up through your arms. And exhale. Gently bring your hands back to your heart. From here, taking mountain pose, bringing the feet under your hip joints, so not the widest part of your hips, but kind of those pokey bones at the front of the hips. From there, lift all 10 toes. Feel how that will pull your weight back onto your heels, but also how it's going to lift your arches. So then as you soften your toes back down, you want to bring your weight forward again so that it can be balanced through, we call them the four corners of your feet, as if your feet were cars where they would have tires. Ground through those four corners, but feel that little hint of a lift through your arches. As the arches lift, you're going to feel this deep kind of core strength rising up through the arches, through the inner thigh, the groin, in through the belly, through the hips, and then let the crown of your head just float like it has a puppeteer string. From here, you can let your arms just rest at your sides. I don't really worry too much about the palm forward traditional Tadasana. I say just let the arms relax, but notice if the arms are relaxing kind of with the thumbs in, maybe you want to just encourage a little bit softer opening through the shoulders, through the heart, so that the palms rest facing towards you, not behind you. From there, close your eyes so that you can really sense that deep kind of core support that your arches, your thighs, your legs can give the body, and then feel that softening in the neck, the shoulders. Notice what's happening with your breath. Maybe you want to check back in, one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Notice if the breath is rising up into the chest, and see what you can do to let it drop down into the belly. Soften through the throat, the floor of the mouth. From here, gently bring your hands to your heart. You can open your eyes, and we'll step the feet to gently touch each other. Maybe the heels are slightly apart if that's more comfortable for you. And we're going to sit back into chair pose, bending through the hips like you were going to sit into a chair, reach forward through your arms. Your weight is going to shift back towards your heels, but you should glance down and be able to see all of your feet in front of you, or at least most of your feet, so that you're not over bending through the knees. Breathing in chair. From here, slowly shift the weight over to the right and step your left foot back a comfortable distance for warrior one. From there, take the hands to the hips and think about the hips facing in the same direction as your pinky toes. So that front hip faces forward, that back hip faces mostly forward. So that back foot should be at a slight angle. From here, feel free to stay as you are, or you can reach your arms up overhead. Or another nice option is to interlace your hands behind your back. Open through the chest, soften the throat. Still feeling that sense of strength coming from the arches of your feet. Breathing, gently release the hands to the hips. And now we're just going to pivot the legs so that they're going to line up heel to arch. And we're going to open it for warrior two. Reaching through the arms, you want to bend that front knee so that you can just see the big toe to the inside of the knee. And again, our hips are still angling with our feet. Front hip angles towards the pinky toe, and that back hip is now going to open a little more because the back foot isn't quite so forward. Breathing here, we're going to inhale for a reverse warrior. The left arm drops down, right arm comes up and over. Breathe and open into the ribs. And then on an exhale, we're going to take a big step back forward and come back into chair pose. It's okay if it takes a couple steps to get there. Shift the weight over to the left, and we'll take the other side. Slow step back as far as is comfortable through the right foot. And warrior one. You can have hands on the hips. Again, that back foot should be facing mostly forward, so the back hip should be mostly forward. You can have the arms up on the hips or interlace. Once again, check in with your breathing. And then hands to the hips. From there, switch the feet so that they're heel to arch alignment. Bend through the front knee to find the big toe and reach through the arms. Soften the shoulders. Feel the strength happening in the arches of the feet, the thigh, the belly, and then let the neck and shoulders be light as you inhale for reverse warrior. I like to look down to the back heel. I feel like that gives me a really nice stretch in my neck. But if you prefer to look up to the top hand, that works great. And then exhale, stepping forward, coming back into chair. Inhale back to mountain. Take a moment here in mountain with the feet together to once again feel that grounding and rooting through the four corners of your feet. And we're going to move into tree pose. From tree, go ahead and shift the weight slowly onto your right foot, and the left foot can come up either to just the ankle with the toes on the ground, or you can bring it up to the shin, or you can bring it up above the knee, wherever it's comfortable. Hands can stay at the heart, or you can reach the arms like branches. With balance, it's always going to help to find a single point to gaze at. So steady your vision, maybe on the floor, maybe closer to the ceiling. Find that single point, and then imagine you've got the roots growing out of the sole of your foot, helping to ground you to the earth. Make sure you're breathing. And we'll slowly change sides, shifting the weight over onto the left foot as you're ready. Right foot comes up. Maybe it comes to the same spot that it did on the other side. Maybe it's different. And make sure it's not on the knee, above or below the knee. Find that steady point to steady your vision. That'll help your balance. Feel the rooting through the grounding foot. That's going to help too. Make sure you're breathing. Maybe you want to add your branches. And then exhale and slowly come back down. One little breath in mountain pose. Root through the feet. Feel that nice lifting through the crown of the head. Soften the chin, the shoulders. And then from here, on an inhale, go ahead, circle the arms up. And on an exhale, bend through the knees, through the hips, and just let your body pour down. From there, go ahead and shift onto hands and knees. And then we're going to come to seated. From seated, if you prefer to be propped up on a bolster or a couple folded blankets, feel free. You know that you probably should prop yourself up if your knees are way higher than your hips, then your back is going to be under strain. So prop yourself up if that would be more comfortable for you. And from here, we're just going to take a really gentle twist. So sitting in a comfortable cross-legged position, bring the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, the right arm lifts and opens, and exhale, fingertips just gently rest on the earth as you twist to the right. Softening through the shoulders. You can imagine like that you're twisting kind of through this deep, through a line of energy that runs from the crown of the head all the way to the pelvic floor. Find that alignment. Line yourself up with that Sushumna, with that central channel. And exhale, gently unwind. Switch the cross of the legs, and we'll take the other side. Back of the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale to lift through the left arm, and exhale to twist. Relax the shoulders, and spiraling upwards. Let the real power to twist come not from your arms pulling, but from that strength deep inside the body, through the belly. Staying present with that low, slow breathing. And exhale, gently unwind. And then from here, we're going to come down onto our backs. And as you come onto your back, go ahead and hug the knees and rock side to side. And we're going to move now into bridge pose. So step your feet so that your heels are close to right under your knees, or as close as they can comfortably get. Arms at your sides with the palms facing towards each other. And like a pelvic tilt, you're going to scoop the tailbone under and then inhale, peel your spine up off the floor, one vertebra at a time. Inhaling to rise, and then exhale, peel it right back down. Trying to get that vertebra by vertebra motion, like your spine is walking. Like pearls on a string. Inhale, roll it on up. Then exhale, rolling on down. Slow it down. It's okay if it takes a couple breaths to get the motion. On the third round, we're going to inhale and roll on up, and then holding at the top, feel your knees reach away from your shoulders. You can hang out here just pressing your arms gently into the earth, or if it feels natural to walk your shoulders under, interlace your hands underneath you, feel free. Reach the knees straight forward. Don't let them splay out to the sides. Breathing. And exhale, gently release the arms. Slowly roll on down. From here, we're going to come into kind of a non-traditional yoga twist. For this twist, we're going to cross the right leg over the left. And then rather than the knees going to the left, that would be a traditional yoga, we're going to take the knees to the right. Your arms are going to open out at your sides, palms facing up. And then if it's comfortable, gently turn to look towards that left hand. If there's any discomfort in the knees or the back, uncross the legs, and that'll probably help. From here, just feel that nice deep opening all the way from the front of the left side of the heart, through the ribs, the waist, the back, the hip. And gently release. And we'll take the other side. Left leg crosses over, the knees go to the left. Opening and reaching through this right front body. Shoulders stay on the ground. And gently release. From here, you can move right into a traditional Shavasana, just letting the arms and legs rest down. Or if you have a chair handy and you want to take legs up the chair, it's a really nice way to end this practice. It's a great thing to do before bed at night. So if you're doing legs up the chair, you just swing your legs so that they rest onto the seat of the chair. Close your eyes and let your body melt. From here, once again, just checking in with that sensation of the back melting into the floor. Let your back grow heavy. Palms, the hands face upwards so you get that nice opening across the chest. Find that low, slow breathing. Feeling the belly rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale. Coming back to the core principles of yoga, of ahimsa, of non-harming, of satya, truthfulness. Taking this time to just offer up that sense of well-being to your body, that sense of loving kindness, of health, of doing something that's good for it. So we're trying to prevent harm, preventative yoga, another form of ahimsa. And satya, truthfulness, is another form of mindfulness, just noticing things as they are right here, right now. Noticing the thoughts that are flowing through your mind. Noticing the feelings that might be percolating somewhere in your body or in your being. And whatever's going on internally, just staying connected to that sense of low, slow breathing. Noticing the breath as it moves through the body. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. You can pause the video. If you start to notice little hidden pockets of tension in places like the jaw or the shoulders, you can always use your exhales to let those pockets of tension melt away. Whenever you're ready to come out, you can just slowly wiggle fingers and toes, little circles for the wrists, for the ankles, and just letting little stretches grow into the body any way they feel good. As you're ready, you can gently hug your knees to your chest, rock side to side. Gently roll over to one side, especially if you were on legs of the chair. Hang out here on your side for a couple breaths. And as you're ready, you can come on back up. And thank you so much for doing some preventative yoga with me. I hope your body feels great. I hope you feel like you are doing something that's taking care of yourself, that's preventing future harm, future injury, and that you have a lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Namaste. Meow. Namaste.